grossing out my wife this morning on purpose. My dump this morning, babe, was enormous. It felt like a quartet blew 4 oboes out of my ass. It was an ode to foursome release. What? I taught the kids Q words yesterday. Blame the thesaurus, not me. Can I get a holla for some holla? Parenting doesn't matter. It has zero impact on your kid's success. So the girl in the Fallen Angel video just wanted to get back at her dad for stalking her at too many band recitals. Blow the oboe out of your ass, Dad. I'm with LA Guns now. Can I get another holla for some holla? Memo to Jimmy Kimmel. Sad is more Americans dying of fentanyl overdoses than from Vietnam, which all come through the southern border. Some farce. Buffalo burger breath. You've killed any remnant of respect for late night comedy. Congratulations! And Sarah Silverman has also been serially unbangable looking ever since you dumped her. Memo to Stephen Colbert. You're like John Oliver, minus the torpy English charm and admirable punchlines, where propaganda fiction meets more propaganda fiction in honor of a POTUS funnier than you at Ground Zero. You Podesta played putts. Barbara Bush states her dislike of Trump in her new biography. Talk about overdue. Is Fahrenheit 911 banned from her local library in Texas yet? Fake news, perhaps? At least Hillary had the balls to get rich or die trying. Thoughts on the season finale of 6 Feet Under 60 years later? Did creator Alan Ball not use Kevin Spacey in it ever, who won an Oscar in Alan Ball's American Beauty prior because Kevin Spacey turning down the Nazi kiss was the apex of his acting career? Final thought on the season finale of 6 Feet Under 60 years later. Can Nate decide whether he's a glum ghost or not already? It's hard not to imagine Alan Ball using greedy, pushy Federico as a front for every Jew Spike Lee or Rashida Tlaib ever betrayed. Can I get another holla for some holla? Arnold Schwarzenegger should pay the $18 million in cuts for the Special Olympics himself, or have his wife host a fundraiser. Ted Kennedy foots the cost of lifeguards, or Schwarzenegger should demand that his future son-in-law Chris Pratt pay a cool $18 million as a dowry to marry into Camelot on steroids. James Comey confused by the Mueller's obstruction decision. James Comey. Russia did interfere in the election. I saw the counterattack campaign attack ads against Hillary. Hillary, Obama. What difference does it make? I screwed that up, didn't I? Rashida Tlaib responding to the sticky note charging her perpetuating jihad against Israel off the record. Palestinians deserve human rights, like the right to vote, to keep terrorists in charge of negotiating a two-state solution. Hamas knows best. Can I get a holla for some holla? More annoying than Jessie Smollet getting released, almost. Trying to teach my son Q words for the day, and he screams, "You're making me want mama. Comedy clubs don't look so bleak anymore, kid." I love how Twitter thinks the Green New Deal, that was a total bust, and Jessie Smollet's release is enough to distract half of America for buying into a now debunked Russian collusion fairy tale with less legs than Lieutenant Dan or Jeff Zucker's claims of purporting the facts. This is AOC after the Green Deal got shot down unanimously. Water poisoned residents of Flint, Michigan got evicted from their homes for unpaid water bills. Of course, they trust their district government less than Michael Moore's makeover. He doesn't matter anymore, right? Can I get a holla for some holla? If I joke doctored a comeback line for AOC after the Green Deal got shot down, it'd be this. Is getting evicted for unpaid water bills, knowing the water was contaminated, considered the trapping of elitism. That's like still charging property taxes to Syrian refugees. Said home, wife, why can't they release the full Mueller report? It's me, stayed on comedian. You barely manage 10 minutes of reading time with the kids per week. I also wouldn't expect the report to feel like a speedy, heady rush like an episode of Russian Doll. Wife won't give it up. I still don't get it. Why can't they release the full Mueller report? And I say, because Nancy Denture Breath Pelosi never cared enough to read Obamacare from start to finish and still doesn't know what's in it. It's me talking to my daughter last night. Doodle dad over here. Randolph Hearst was a fan of the Jews. He used to insist his mogul buds in Hollywood, he would insist they used to enter the country clubs that William Randolph Hearst belonged to. He would insist that he enter the country clubs that William Randolph Hearst belonged to. He would insist that his mogul buds enter with him, despite the fact that there were signs outside the country clubs that said, no dogs, no Jews allowed. And my daughter replies, good night. I said, bored already? Babyface Omar? Yikes. Already my own home, my daughter thinks it's politically incorrect to show proud affinity for the Jews and Israel in general. Stood all dad last night. I'm fine now. I'm sure you're concerned. Can't believe, I was talking to my wife, I can't believe I pulled my left calf muscle today after my right one just healed. My wife says, it'll give you motivation to make money so we could afford a swim club membership this summer. And she could tell I'm completely infuriated. She says, what? I was being playful. And I said, you're right, babe. You tickle my ego like no other. This morning, I'm talking to my wife. Wife says, we're going to D.C. for my birthday week in April. In case any of you guys want to take me out. I'll be in D.C. Look like Hugh Grant on stilts. Easy target. Wife, I don't have a death wish. Wife, you're not going to wear a MAGA hat in D.C., are you? And I said, it's a prop. I was talking about a MAGA hat before. I said, no, babe, the MAGA hat that I still don't own yet, that I still need to get on Amazon. I don't even know if they sell them. It's a prop for our teaser scene for my pilot that I'm writing for my birthday because it's for me and I haven't written one in 3 years. It's a prop for our teaser scene for my pilot, Crazy Good Data. I play a cooking show host prop comedian. Your son Arthur wears the hat playing Bad Boy Soy Boy, if you really need to know. Can I get another holla for some holla? So the WGA, that is the Writers Guild of America, which I should be in already. I've written all the host reads for two. That's multiple video countdown specials for VH1 and VH1 Classic. They're aired on TV. But I did not get TV writing credit because I was not in the guild, and that's where they were able to get me in the cheap because I was desperate and I was so broke. My Hebrew name was under judicial review, and I've been working my ass off for 12 years up until that point to get my writing break. I was in a position to pitch my own pilot to the head of the network at VH1 Classic, so I didn't really have a choice, and I had no leverage. So you could say that I firmly do believe that parents do possess a very strong influence on their children's success for two reasons. So, well, there's one theory that says, well, first one is this, making sure they don't do drugs. Because kids that do drugs, it's proven. People that engage in risky sexual behavior, and as they get older, kids as they get older, who basically bang at will with no condoms, don't ask about birth control, drink and drive, do every drug imaginable. As a whole, there's hard scientific study that backs up the fact that as a whole, kids that don't get that involved touch, regardless of how much time the dad has, tend to go down that direction. So that is one thing, folks, that I believe we could all control. And we could definitely all control our kids through comedy as far as teaching these messages and not always being so doom and gloom about it. Then again, it always helps when you have a younger brother, and my son, Archer USA, on his way to school today, decided to get deep with my wife. On occasion, he's like, I just want to talk, no music. But he's talking to my wife today, and he says, why does Daddy look younger than Uncle John? And my wife wasn't really able to teach through comedy. She just said that, well, Uncle John abuses his body and is a bigger degenerate and than Daddy, and as a whole, Mimi and Papa empower and enable and cuddle him more than uh, your daddy, who I love when he's not edgy Adderall, even though her best friend was here today, and I found out. Well, can I make the big reveal on my podcast? I'm telling any of her friends listen to my podcast, but so I found out that her good friend is pregnant, and I kissed her belly. I've never done that before. I said, "Don't tell Matt," and I got a laugh. And the moral of the story here, folks: never too late to find love, because Liz is upper 30s, and Matt was married before and had a kid, and he found love again. So I couldn't be happy for him. Very cool guy, and he respects my Trump opinions. It's like I respect 80% of what you have to say. He also respects the fact that among people that we hang out with, we're talking a very hardcore Pinko University of Delaware alumni crew, that I'm pretty vociferous. Not that I ever start the shit. The last time it was the Charlottesville and it just set me off. But I'm not going to bore you. I really don't want to talk about that anymore. But I do love Auntie Liz. I mean, I got to know her in Park Slope. I've been talking light years ago, folks. Back when Lena Dunham had much skinny arms and wasn't so full of herself. And then, Natalia, my wife, has another friend from college named Sarah. She's married to a guy named Carson. And he's a mechanic, landscaper, basically a man's man. But he's also like part Jew, like myself, but he's a man's man, so we don't have that in common. But he's a really cool dude, loves the green, big deadhead, loves fish, loves Jim Norton, and he's always commended my cojones. And we were able to have a very intelligent, cogent, non-hysterical conversation about Trump ages ago, before he even won. We both predicted he was going to win too. Or it could have been right after the fact. Anyway, it was a cool conversation. But the last time I saw him, I saw his kid for the first time. And I remember holding Carson's kid, and it was beautiful. So that's really a great thing, folks. This is my message here for aspiring do-it-all dads. I mean, listen, are looks important? Yes. But I think Bill Engvall once said this old joke, like you can't, or I think it was Ron White, you can't fix stupid, right? You could always make a woman prettier, which is true, but you can't fix stupid. But I mean, listen, I don't think stupid is necessarily a bad thing, but someone that has a lot of emotional issues and baggage doesn't mean they're a bad person, but it's not what we would call marriage material. I mean, we're talking about your life mate. Marry someone that's your best friend, that you want to hang out with, that you don't always want to bang, because the sweaty sex period has a shelf life. But so it's just really special that I've been able to. My brothers make comments before. It's like, you're really lucky, bro, that your wife has good friends, because nothing's worse than when you have the wife that only has one friend, and who doesn't really treat her like the true best friend. So she basically feels like she's got zero friends, and then the codependency issues arise, and then your life's a total horror show. So anyway, I just want to give my love shout out. I shouldn't be announcing this in the podcast, but again, I'm not worried about the news hitting on Facebook. But I love you, Auntie Liz, for being a great friend to my wife, and for being a lovely Auntie Liz for all three of my children, and for celebrating it and all of their unique, distinct wonderfulness. So I will always cherish that forevermore. So I was talking about the Writers Guild of America. The Writers Guild of America, they just threatened to stop writing shitty scripts with shooter in Georgia if the abortion bill passes there. Since when are $1 million actresses getting knocked up by Jeff Foxworthy's body double on Tastes Like My Second Cousin? Can I get a holla for some holla? Kobe Bryant now claims he's better than MJ. You can't accuse Kobe of slow fades from the spotlight and walled-off seclusion like Roman Polanski. I hope Kobe was innocent. Roman, obviously not. The sketchy scowl still irks me. Bonds was more happy-go-lucky. And I've said it before, folks, but I think that the impact of PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, are overstated, because if I took PEDs at sleepaway camp in Kent, Connecticut, I just would have struck out a baseball at a more accelerated speed. Can I get another holla for some holla? Stacey Abrams says Beto was hyped because he's white. I thought it was because he was the second coming of a humorless, spazzy Freddie Prinze Jr. with no good material whatsoever. Freddie Prinze Jr. died very young, and he had great material. He had the looks. He had the entire package. Pretty sure he was on Welcome Back, Kotter. But I have his CD. My son actually discovered my car today. Very sharp stuff. He was very funny in the roast, too, on the Dean Martin roast. And it's really great to see him completely crack up and bond with Sammy Davis Jr. when Don Ruckus performs. It's definitely something worth checking out. Long live Freddie Prinze. Looking good! For once, now they're in heaven. And there are no bags on your eyes, because I don't think they exist in heaven. Looking good! So, I am accentuating the extent of my annoyingness as much as humanly possible by harping on a catchphrase that's not even mine, but it's so delicious. I gotta say it one more time, because I gotta be honest. Since I got my food poisoning, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm thinking, I'm looking good! Kobe. Good old Kobe. Self-proclaimed Mamba. Claims he's better than MJ now. At what? Forcing Chuck fadeaway threes with a hand in his face? With a more reliable European big to dish off to if he wasn't such a scowling ball hog about it? Beat Bird or Magic once in the finals and we'll talk. Kobe claims he's better than MJ now. Who do I blame for this now exactly? Rapewood for giving Mamba an ego? Now with no end, Goat Herder Beard LeBron, or Trump for filling more seats than a screening room at the Tribeca Film Festival? Can I get another holla for some holla? Michelle Obama's memoirs becoming the best-selling one in history. The sequel will be titled How to Get Off Jussie Smollett without the audio version of Jay-Z's book narrated by Blair Underwood. I love that joke. Fresh off the press, aren't you guys blessed? Again, not exaggerating. Red and Hunt, Breitbart, Michelle Obama's memoirs becoming the best-selling one in history. Too bad there's no mention of Joan Rivers banning the Obamas from her funeral, or how Michelle made white bread at Trader Joe's taste like stale crackers forevermore. Ha! Can I get another holla for some white cracker holla? Seriously, folks, not exaggerating. Michelle Obama's memoir becoming the best-selling one in history. P.T. Barnum's memoir at one point outsold the Bible. So unless Michelle starts outselling the Quran in the billions, I'm not impressed. This is the Doodle Dad, your podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me, what Gen X parents understand. Congratulations, Auntie Liz. You're going to make a beautiful, wonderful mother. Can't wait to entertain your future beautiful offspring, and I'll talk to you guys soon.